Guys, this is going to be my PowerPoint on the war on free speech and the FCC's regulation of our radio and media broadcasting. Okay, so in 1934, the FCC was created to regulate radio broadcasting before the invention of television, and since then it's levied hundreds of millions of dollars in fines against television and radio broadcasting. So the censorship of any medium, artistic or not, is pretty much directly in violation of our First Amendment right, which guarantees us the right of freedom of speech and freedom of expression. So at this point in our culture, as advanced as we are, well, with our technology and all the things that we have, is it really necessary for us to be moderated by some outside government organization? And it begs the question, do we need to be paying people tax dollars to tell us what we can and cannot watch on television? It seems pretty ridiculous at this point, and they're definitely fighting a losing battle, because if you look at the programming available today, there's tons of smut on television, and instead of putting the onus on these companies to moderate themselves, we're just fining them, but we're still demanding the smut. So I want to propose some alternatives to continue going after media, radio broadcasting, and television broadcasting. Instead of levying these incredible fines on these media outlets, why don't instead we put the onus on the broadcasters themselves to moderate? Because if you're like me, you know that anybody telling you to do something is going to make you bristle and you're going to rebel against that. So instead of going along with it, we see more and more offensive and challenging material on television and radio. They're bristling at being reprimanded and being told that they have to censor themselves. It's a free country. That's what America was founded on. Freedom of speech is our basic right. And these people have made their living speaking their minds and creating content that appeals to a mass audience. If people did not find the products that they were putting out on television and interesting and compelling, they wouldn't stay around. Trust me, the rating system would not allow for these broadcasters to stay in business. So any problems that we might have with the TV, or specifically you might have with television or radio, for every one problem you raise, there's thousands of other people that are applauding it as brilliant broadcasting. So instead of criminalizing these outlets, maybe we should put the onus on ourselves and think, this is what we're demanding from these broadcast media. So instead of blaming them, we should really consider our society, and maybe we need to elevate our status and our mentality instead of going after media for giving us what we want. And this is just going back to, once again, since the FCC's creation in 1934, first off, there's a backlog of over 1.5 million complaints since 1934 that have been filed against the FCC that nothing has been done about. So the agency is clearly overwhelmed, but regardless, we're still shoveling money at them as quickly as possible. Last year, the FCC cost $50 million alone just in taxpayer dollars, and all this money is really not doing anything, because you're still seeing the Jersey Shores. You're still seeing people like Miley Cyrus twerking it out on TV. So all this stuff is pretty irrelevant. The FCC is wasting their time. So what I want to beg the question of is that all that money that we're putting toward this failed agency, and that's what it is at this point, it's a completely failed agency, can we not try and give that back to the broadcasters and give them incentives like, look, here's some money, let's create some compelling family television, get your best writers, and let's make this really work.